Yo, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode of The Review as we continue on with Steven Pressfield's book, The War of Art. And, I'm so grateful to have my friend Mike on here again. You know what I'm saying? This is our ninth episode, and I appreciate you going along this journey with me, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great, my man. I appreciate you asking me to do this because I read this book, but this really caused me to really dig into it and really put some more thoughts into some of the concepts in it. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Not a problem. Not a problem. And so, looking at this concept, people would have thought that I actually came up with this actual topic here. But this was all Mike, man, and I love it because I get to watch. I love watching my friends grow and evolve over time. So let's talk about these creative routines that enhance creativity.
Yeah, man. And so, first off, out of complete transparency, so I am not the example when it comes to diet and exercise. However, I am not. I do understand the influence that it can have, as well as meditation and supplementation. Because the reality is that for all of us, are almost all of us. Granted, you have some guests on here, and you are on top of your game, but the majority of us, the rest of the 99, our diet, our exercise routines are junk. I mean, they're
Yeah.
trash. They're absolutely killing us. And what's worse is even in our day to day life, they're slowing us down. They're robbing us of creativity. They're causing health issues that cause us to miss out on a lot of our potential and capability. Because especially when we talk about like processed sugars and things like that, I mean, we are just now beginning to discover in the last couple years how bad sugar is for our bodies and for our minds and the things that it does to us. But also with exercise, the big thing that people are doing now when we talk about diet and exercise is I've seen on Facebook where people look back at pictures from 50, 60 years ago at the beach, and they're like, oh, there's no fat people, and not to get into any type of fat shaming. But the reality is that our bodies have changed over the last several decades, whether it's from, a more comfortable lifestyle, from whatever reasons. And some of it has to do with the evolution of our society. But when we are in good shape, when we have regular routines of exercise, when we put intention into our diet, put thought into the food that we eat, because like I said, most people are not aware how much that influences our mental health, our behavioral health, all these different aspects. There is a lot of thought along the lines of your gut biome being connected to your brain and to your mind and how that stuff works, connected to the central nervous system and how that stuff actually does all function together. The nutrients that we put into our body, a lot of them, or more than we think, cross the blood brain barrier and influence how our brain operates and acts. Things like supplementation. So this is something that I've got into in the last couple of years. Oftentimes when we think about supplementation, we think about your multivitamins, we think about, your creatine and your pre-workout formulas and stuff. But there are all types of supplementation out there that can prevent cognitive decline, that can promote cognitive function, that can promote mental health and well-being. There are so many natural elements in this world that we live in that can be combined to create synergistic effects in our body, that when we take one supplement, it might have one effect, but when we combine it with these other things, it has a different effect. So one of the things that I've gotten into is nootropics. Nootropics are supplements that impact your cognitive performance, your focus, your memory, your mental clarity, things like that. Because a lot of what I do over the last several years has been academic work. Has been research, writing a lot of papers, writing a lot of programs and stuff like that. Also, my family has a history of neuro dysfunction in our family. So I am trying to protect against that as I get older. So I got into learning about nootropics. Learn about your diet, learn about how exercise can impact your creativity, because when we feel better, we're more creative people. I've also got really big into meditation the last couple years. I talk a lot about meditation, especially mindfulness meditation. I'm not talking about the Buddhist transcendental meditation we see displayed on TV so much, but just getting some time to yourself, time to sit, do a couple of deep breathing exercises, really clear through some things and let your brain process stuff. Our brains get so backlogged with data and information that it needs to process that it stymies creation because it all gets log jammed in there. When we take time and we meditate, when we slow down our day a little bit and we can put more thought into what we're doing, we're able to express ourselves better. We're able to tap into ourselves a little bit better by slowing down, being able to get through some of the clutter in our lives. And meditation really helps out with that. So when we develop routines, because routines are important, we've talked about discipline throughout this and about understanding ourselves, how when our body works well, when it doesn't work well, the timing of the day, all of these different aspects is about creating a environment that you can be creative in. And your diet, your exercise, meditation, supplementation, all of these things can boost creativity and boost performance and really put you in a stronger position to be prepared to achieve your goals.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, and the beautiful part about that is your routine is going to keep you in the race.
Yes.
It keeps you functioning. And when you fall off, you're like, okay, how did I get here before? Okay, my routine.
Yeah.
All right. What is missing in my routine? Is it sleep? Is it water? Is it, peace? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Is it accountability? It's one of those things where it really does change things. And I'm glad you mentioned nootropics because when people they talk about supplementation and nootropics, a lot of nootropics is actually found in food like eggs and coffee and tea and those things. Um, and it's one of those things where when we're more intentional about what we're consuming, we get the clarity that you talked about, right? When I would have a McDonald's meal at the end of the workday versus having what I'm saying, something that I prepared at home, total different feeling. I
Absolutely.
even noticed that waking up the next day, I functioned, and my gut didn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you wake up, you're like, oh man, you're not feeling as spry. Also, Matt, I noticed like I got an apple right here, but I do notice that the fact that when I do take an apple with my meals, and I try to do that with all three meals throughout the day, when I do take an apple with my meals, I digest things a lot quicker,
Yeah.
and I don't feel sluggish, walking around all day every day. Throughout my day, I feel like I also get more done. I can focus. So
Yeah.
that's huge. That routine it means everything. Like, and I really appreciate you sharing that. Did you have any more about the routine part or?
Well, kind of like what you're saying about why routines are important is that they keep us going. When we lose focus or whatever, they keep us going and doing what we need to do. Man, you mentioned fast food. Fast food is probably some of the worst stuff that has ever come along for our society. Yeah, we maybe in some ways solve some hunger issues by creating all these empty calories that people can consume, but our bodies do not process the food properly. Our bodies don't process a lot of the food we eat properly. This makes us slower mentally and physically, as well as leads to many, many, many mental and physical health issues. We talked about when people talk about COVID. People talk about how many people die from cigarette smoking, all of these different habits. But man, our diet is killing us more than anything on so many levels. And then our sedentary lifestyle. And it's not about going to the gym and hitting what is it, 100 reps of 225. It's sometimes it's just getting out and walking around that lake.
Well, it
Spending
can
time out in
even
your
be
yard.
detrimental.
The
I
what?
think you touched on that 100 reps at 225. You got a lot of people throwing around weight that they shouldn't be throwing around. A
Yeah,
lot of people are locking up their bodies, and the main thing that they should be doing is focusing on mobility, walking around, being active.
yeah,
Being active and mobility and mobile and working on your flexibility is really the key to a long term healthy life. You
yeah,
rarely ever see a bodybuilder with a really really long life
yeah,
that didn't change their habits.
yeah,
And that's the hard part because then you got to look at the calories. So you got a lot of people, in order to get big muscles, you got to eat a decent amount of food.
Yeah.
Problem is it's really hard for a person in older age to maintain those calories and to stay consistent in the gym. And what
Yeah.
happens, you get a lot of, I find a lot of, friends and people that I've grown up with, they went into the bodybuilding circuit, but the problem is when regular life hit them and they stopped bodybuilding and putting on that much muscle, it all turned into fat because they never lowered their calories.
Yeah.
They kept eating the same amount that they used to eat when they were lifting twice a day, and it would come around and it would eat them alive because it's like you can't continue to put your body through that. And one of the hardest part is bouncing back. I like, hopefully, some younger people in the younger generation are listening to this. Do not trash your body for 10 to 15 years and expect to have the same elasticity in your body as you did, what I'm saying, before that time period. Because you have a lot of people now, surgery is a huge thing now. During COVID, people got a lot of surgeries. They got a lot of things, and they wanted that weight loss fast. So a lot of them got, they got the bypasses and they got all those things. And there's no shade there, right? Because my heart goes out to, I love people, and my heart goes out to people in their struggles. But at the same time, if you take the easy route, it's really hard for your body to actually bounce back from the easy route. You know what I mean? And then you're stuck with a whole another set of problems. So we want y'all to be very, very careful and intentional in your routine. Even if you got to get the fast food, right? I used to make it a habit. Whenever I had to get the fast food, I'm looking at, okay, do I necessarily need the fries? Or if I'm gonna get the burger, should I get the chicken? You know what I'm saying? Or should I get it this way or that way? Do I need a soda? You know what I'm saying? It gets to a point now, like whenever I have a soda, I can't even finish it anymore. Like my body's just gotten conditioned to like, bro, that's a lot of sugar. You know what I mean? Like I'll sip the first, I have a couple swallows, and then I'm like, I can't finish it.
I think that one of the things in our country that we have developed a society that can take everything to the extreme. So balance is hard for us. We see images. You talk about bodybuilding, and I know you have some guests and do some great shows that I actually absolutely enjoy. But we see these extreme examples of excellence. In these things, and we think that everybody can achieve those things, and that's not the case.
No.
And most of our bodies are not built for that, and cannot. People achieve excellence because they are rare specimens. And not everybody can do that, but we get this idea that I can achieve this, so I go out and I trash my body trying to achieve something that I'm not capable of, rather than finding a place that's comfortable and balanced for me. Finding a place for me. I worry too about, you brought up that the thing about the surgeries, and I'm like you. I completely support people in wanting to be comfortable in their own skin, but it does worry me that I see that so prevalent now. To where you almost don't recognize people a year from now, and it's not that they have resculpted their body, reshaped their life, because that's what you have to do to make major changes like that. Is you have to come in and you have to examine everything in your life, and then
Yes.
you have to make new habits and form new routines to
And
make
that's hard,
have
Mike.
achievements. Do what?
And that's hard, Mike. That's tough.
It is real tough. That's why people.
It's
That's
easy.
why we always look to the medical field for solutions. We want big pharma to come help us out. And surgeries to fix and solve problems that can be should probably be fixed through other ways, because we want that fast, easy, easy fix.
Exactly. Well, and we look for big government to solve our financial problems in a lot of ways, and then we go back into the same rut.
Oh,
A
absolutely.
lot of
Well,
never
look
ending
at us. For
dollars.
for a year and a half, we wanted relief payments, and now we've got inflation. And
Now we don't want taxes.
yeah,
It's like, I'm
well,
like, yeah, there's a yin and a yang to everything, and that's
everything, everything has a cost and a trade. There's a trade off for everything in this world.
everything.
And there's a cost, and
Yeah.
unfortunately,
So, we appreciate y'all, for tapping into our
love.
series, Creative Resistance. And we want you, because when people look at the thumbnail on creativity, a lot of times we feel like, they might look at it a certain way, like, oh yeah, what is this about, art? No, I mean, it is. It's about the art of life, because
Absolutely,
art, life is not just about science. It's about how you navigate and you use that artistry to achieve your goals and to keep
yeah.
yourself on track and to do great things. It starts with, hey, the goal, the plan, and being creative about it, because there's no one set way to accomplish a goal. Now, are
That's
there
true.
principles? Yes, we talk about that on proactive pragmatism. But at the same time, those principles are going to take creative solutions along the way. And we hope that we have empowered you to go forth and do great things. Also, tap into, if you have any books you want me to review or anything like that, or anything you want us to check out, feel free to email us, hit us up. We appreciate y'all. I'm Tommy,
And I might.
and this is Proactive Pragmatism. We appreciate y'all.